Hello. Um, Today, uh, I'm going to start again, as always, with two news. And the first one is about Nvidia. It says that investors fear new Huawei restrictions could endanger sales. And we have some key points, nice key points here. Says Nvidia sales could suffer from proposed restriction on U.S. companies trading with Huawei. So it seems that it is not going to be a very positive news for Nvidia. So let me just open this chart. Let's get sure that I have removed everything. Always we start from a clean chart. As we approaching price action method, and let's jump into the weekly view. Of course, looking at weekly view, it's not going to help us what is currently happening in the market, but having a good understanding of the history of the chart, it always is beneficial. Anyhow, I can see, not zoom out a little bit, just a few last waves are enough to find some support or resistance zone or try to understand what just happened in the history. What I'm saying is a one impulsive wave, at least, seems to be, and one correction, and also what's some sort of a reversal here. Let's dive into first. I will start with this impulsive wave. Uh, Try to utilize the Fibonacci uh, levels and extensions. I apologize because of my voice today. Uh, what I'm saying is that, okay, it seems to be an impulsive wave, but uh, reversed to, and it corrected itself to 78.6 percentage. So this is not a very common correction. It is a huge correction. So more than 78 percentage of the impulsive wave has been corrected, and it is not a good signal because it usually the golden ratio for corrections are 61.8. Usually when the trend, this uptrend for example, is so strong, there might be possibilities that the price just try to correct itself to lower levels like 38 or 50, but here we are seeing a very huge amount of correction. So get rid of this one. This is good enough for me, and I know that this was the level. I can see it is also a support zone, very important one. I can just clarify it by adding some arrows. Very strong support zone, and I guess that's enough. Also, let's take a closer look to this somehow impulsive wave, which is not somehow, it is actually an impulsive wave. I can say it is one. This whole side wave correction is two. I can see that this might be three. This is the fourth wave, the correction, and this is the last wave here. Um, let's talk about the first wave. The first wave is actually some sort of a diagonal. You can see the waves are not so clear. We need to really zoom in, dive into the daily view, but it is so far away from the current point of view, so I don't want to dig deeply on that. But as you know, these are all educational contents. These are not for trading. Just okay, what is happening here? Should I buy or sell? This is not our goal. So that's why I'm digging into this to have a better understanding of the history, which of course will impact our conclusion in the end. Anyhow, what I'm saying is this one impulsive wave and a correction. This correction, let me clarify this correction. It started from here to somewhere here. Let's change this, so because it has some conflict, change the color. it has some conflict with my support zone. So I can clarify it well. These some sort of, I can say this is the one. This is a sideways correction. I've always said that corrections are not always zigzag. It is not just a sharp correction moving against the main trend, but they can be sideways. Here, what we are seeing is a flat. It's a not fold, flat. And here we can see that correction just created some sort of a long-term range market, and it is well known when it comes to corrections when uh, obviously when the trend is so fast and so strong, usually price doesn't wants to very sharply, or actually we can say it cannot, because of the buyers are so strong there, it cannot just sharply uh, create corrections like we have here. Okay, the very sharp correction. Anyhow, this was sideways. For the third wave, we can also see the actually the minor waves as well. I can call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but let me change the color. Also, let me to change it to minor. Okay, now it is better. So we know that after this side wave correction, we had this strong third wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here the fourth wave is zigzag. It is, we don't, again, if we want to see the details, we need to just jump into the daily, but I don't want to do that. It was it was an ABC sharp, just uh, returning against the main trend. And finally the fifth wave here. So that's a good information. But that impulsive wave, I'm seeing that as we just discussed, it has been reversed up to 78 percentage of Fibo levels. So we know that it was a very huge correction, right? Here. So then it reacted and it started moving up. But something that I want to take a closer look is about this some sort of correction here. When I look at that, it does not look like an ABC. We are now combining, yeah, we are utilizing these supports and resistance level, but I've just started with Elias theory. We are not only going to talk about Elias wave theories, but this is something that always I have in my pocket. I want to use them when it's the time. So I can see that it was some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it does not look like an ABC. It is not, of course, it is not side wave, it is not triangle, or it is not a flat or any kind of side waves. It is, of course, a sharp correction, if we can count it as a correction, um, but also five waves. So after one impulsive wave like this, doesn't necessarily we are going to have ABC. If it is the end of the whole uptrend, then after the last wave of this uptrend, then we are going to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the reason is that I'm thinking so is that I'm seeing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of one ABC, and also I'm seeing that this is seems not um, uh, correction. It has been corrected up to 78 percentage. It is so huge amount of correction. So this is what I'm feeling, that this going to be a more a strong impulsive wave downtrend, uh, just in comparison to thinking about it was just a correction and it is moving forward. But for have a better understanding, okay, that's enough for weekly. I guess knowing this history is enough. So we know that we had at least some sort of impulsive here, regardless of it is going to be an ABC in the end, or it is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. But we know that we are going to have, if it is even an ABC, it's going to be an ABC. So still we are going to have, according to Elliot's wave theory, we are going to have something like that. But that's enough as a big picture. Let's jump into the daily. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Um, yeah, I'm saying that this is a reversal. Let's just bring these things to my view. Then I can have, then I can see them. I can see that, okay, obviously I can see some sort of ABC after this one long 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I have jumped into the daily before just going talking about this one, because I always start from a little bit back with a higher time frame. As long as I go forward, I will also jump into the more lower time frame. So when I was looking at this side, I was on weekly uh, view, but now for this wave, I've jumped into the daily view. And when I reach the last point, which I want to in the end understand what is going on here, I will even more jump into some hourly views to have a better feeling, because it is the current time and I want to have a better understanding of details. That's the reason when you start from the bigger time frames, we can see the more history, but as long as we jump into the lower time frames, we will go to look at closer to the current time. So this is going to give us a better sense about these five wave, 5 waves here. I can see that, okay, we had some sort of triple bottom here and one sort of a zigzag, and then I had a third wave here. It is completely obvious. And again, some sort of correction here in the 5 wave. We can talk about these. Um, it is not actually for me, because I'll always talk about this thing as well. This part, it was not a zigzag. It was actually a irregular flat that it actually reversed to. We had some sort of a range here, also a long, actually from the time perspective, very long period in comparison to a sharp zigzag correction. So this was our side wave. I'm not going to put comments here or call out here, but this one was a one ABC with some sort of a truncation in the third wave and the fifth wave. So by just looking at the little bit, does it make sense, because it was some sort of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to me, and now I am seeing more details. I just wanted to take a closer look at if it is really showing me the uh, what I was used to think about, and it makes sense. It is exactly what I was looking for. Also with these details, to jump into this ABC, after this 1, 2, 3, 4, we have also an intermediate ABC. This C, um, yeah, I can see when the price is. I talked about these triple bottoms here. Also, I can see the end of the third wave in the last big impulsive. So I can see this as some sort of a resistance zone. Let me reverse the colors back, because I usually like to show the support and resistance levels with this rectangle tool. And let's add some arrows. Uh, Here we had a downside, some, you can call it fake out, that tried to it price tried to actually break the thing, but it was not successful. Finally, we had that breakout. Now from that time, it used to it is now behaving as resistance, as you can see, the breakout and the retest here. And now we are seeing some sort of a resistance again. Price reverse back, and maybe some sort of breakout. I will talk to that in a few seconds. But what is obvious that we have that ABC. Let me just grab these and create this channel. Uh, what I'm interested in to now have a better understanding, I can see that it has been reached this level, but maybe it is going to break it down because again with a huge gap, it seems to be uh, it seems to be that it is going to break it. I will bring up the MACD. I'm not usually using indicators, but sometimes for confirming that if it is the end of the trend, I'm seeing some sort of a divergence here. So what is divergence on MACD? It is that price created a higher high in an uptrend. Let me zoom in a little bit, then you can have a better understanding what I'm talking about. Price actually created a higher high, and we can see this high here. Then it created another higher high. Yeah, okay, but we are seeing a divergence, vice versa situation on MACD. So it is a lower high. So this is what we call divergence, and this is when that happens, it is one of the indications that the price is at the end of the trend is at the end of its life. So I have one indication: price has been reached to the very strong resistance zone. That's one indication. The second indication is that we have completed the ABC. The third indication is this MACD that's showing divergence. But is it really the end of this ABC? Because I talked about this as the um, end of that. Usually we can measure the length of the target of the next wave by utilizing Fibonacci extension levels that I'm going to use this retracement tool, but in a vice versa format, so I can see the extensions. So we can see that the target is usually 1.61 for C, and you can see that beautifully it has been sit on that resistance zone. So this is that my second indication is also these Fibonacci extensions are also confirming that yes, the C wave has been reached its target on a very important zone resistance level, as well as seeing a divergence that's showing that this C wave it is not that much strong enough. So we have these all kind of um, indication, all of them saying that yeah, it is the end. So what I'm going to conclude, because now this is the end of the chart at the moment, and it is it is giving us a feeling that we are about to see a reversal. Let's now jump into the hourly. Now, again, as you see, when I just wanted to talk about the last wave, just the C, I just jump into the hourly to have a better understanding. Still, when I'm seeing it on MACD, because now I'm seeing more waves, because I'm in hourly and seeing more details, I can see that we are actually having this divergence. We can see it even much uh, clearly. So we had this higher high, same on MACD, but this next high, almost a little bit of divergence. The next high, much more divergence. The next high, even much more divergence. And the next one also, which is some sort of a double top, but also a divergence. So from this point to this point, we are actually seeing a very strong divergence on the hourly. So I can clarify it, very strong divergence here. We used to see that on the daily, but here zooming in to a lower time frame actually gives us a better sense of what is going on here. Um, so Already we talked about uh, four, four indication that this C, it is at the end. I'm not going to repeat them anymore, but I want to add another one as rising wedge here, because the whole C, the reason that I'm actually drawing this trend line like this, because I'm interested on this C. I want to understand if this C is going to be done. Is it going to be the end of the C wave, or we are going to have some sort of a continuation? That's why I'm actually drawing the trend line like this. But I will come back to that. This is not a valid trend line. I'm just trying to figure out what is this pattern. This pattern is a rising wedge. I'm just coming to the next indication that it is a rising wedge, and this rising wedge is also happening when the trend is done, and we usually expecting this rising wedge to be breakout, to have a breakout from the bottom. I can just draw some sort of an arrow. This is the expectation. So again, very strong resistance zone. The target Fibonacci extensions level saying that the C is reached out to the end, to the target. Also, we have the rising wedge, a strong divergence. Also, I'm seeing a double top. You know, as I continue, I'm seeing more and more indication that this is going to be reversed. All these things, all what I'm saying, they are all telling me that this is going to be a reversal. We are going to see a reversal. Anyhow, let's get rid of this rising wedge. Um, I know now what I, what is the conclusion. In a short term, we are going to see some sort of a reversal on Nvidia, in my opinion at least. But this is the way I like to draw trend lines. I'm telling this a lot because this is the I've seen that this is the most confusion parts for the beginners, that they are trying to draw a trend line like that. When you draw a trend line, yes, for that rising wedge I did that, but I don't count this as a as a trend line. I just wanted to measure that C wave. But when you see a huge gap between the price and your trend line, that's not a valid trend line. So I really like to have a trend line like this. That I, again, if I bring it back, you can see some lower lows here that doesn't have any communication with this trend line. So I would like to put it somewhere here and create a trend line like that. Now it is much more sense. The gaps between them, between the waves are almost equal, and I'm not missing a major lower, higher lows in between. So this is what I really like to have. And if I now also draw um, the top side of this trend, which I used to have it when I was talking about that rising wedge, now I'm seeing some sort of a channel. So from the half of this C, I'm seeing some sort of a channel in this hourly. So this channel, it is in a structure that now we are expecting due to those 6 or 7 uh, reasons that we talked about, we are going to have some sort of downtrend from now on. So when this structure just broke out, we probably could see some sort of confirmation or retest. Usually we are going to see, but I'm feeling that this is the short term. In a medium term, I'm expecting that it also reverse uh, down, because this is the next, maybe somewhere to this level, because at the end of this uh, wave B here. So, or even it can continue to the main support level that we found on the weekly chart. You can see that, yeah, I'm seeing these, but the reason that we just check weekly as well is that, yeah, we are seeing it is some sort of a support zone, but we cannot recognize that how important this is. So, but having that information, that call out, I don't think we can see it in this view. Let me just get rid of this MACD. and yeah, reversed up to 78%. Remember that whole that big wave. If I go back to the daily, we can see that in the daily as well. If you zoom out a lot, so you can remember now it was some sort of a correction, but very huge correction up to 78 percentage. Anyhow, we talked about the short term, we talked about the medium term. What about the long term? Also, I'm expecting to see after this because I'm feeling that this was one impulsive way. We are seeing an ABC. We understood that this C is ended. So if I come back to my wave theory, so I'm going to see another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it was my first wave, that it is going to break that hourly structure, some sort of a retest as the correction, a strong wave as the third wave to this level, and this level is so strong, and maybe I'm going to see something like this. Again, a double bottom if it wants to return, but also there might be a possibility to even break this because coming back to the weekly, zoom in a little bit, you can remember that this side wave, this biggest structure, it's corrected to 78%. It seems that okay, it is saying that, oh, don't expect that this next uptrend be so powerful. And this is what I'm exactly seeing. It seems that it is reversing. Even if we saw some sort of a breakout there in comparison to this level, if I just try to going back to a lower time frame, you can see this was some sort of a breakout, but it is going to be a fake out because we found 7 reasons that this is the end of this, and it is not going to move uh, very much to the top. If that happens, it is going to be a more obvious fake out. This is a very little fake out, but this fake out is also an information. It is not okay, it was a fake out. No, it is an information to you that okay, this it tried to break this resistance, but it was not successful. So we are again expecting. So we found another one. Maybe it was the eighth reason or eighth confirmation that it is going to be a reversal. So was the short term, medium term, and long term. I'm saying this is my only opinion, my personal opinion about this, that it is an Nvidia is not going to move up and up, as it also we had some in the news that it is created this some sort of rising wedge on the top, I guess, or created at least these two because the news was for 2 days, for 2 last days. So these two red candles might be that due to that news. But I'm saying in the long term that it is going to be also a downtrend for this chart. I think we're done. Um, this is just I want to just clarify, this is just the educational content. This doesn't mean that you are going to, if you have this stock you have to sell it, or Nvidia is going to break it. No, it is just I'm utilizing this stock because I saw it just in the news and try to utilize my knowledge to analyze it via technical analysis, not just a trading point or signal. This is not about something like that. Be aware, do not trade or with any of the contents in my channel. Let's go back to the news. I want to cover another thing. I'm seeing that, yeah, also mm, almost, yeah, it was yesterday, 21 hour ago, according to my time zone. We are seeing these that, okay, it said that Euro USD advances as dollar loses traction. So it is saying that US dollar is not that much powerful. It seems to be. I have had talk about the DXY chart. Just it was yesterday or 2 days ago. You can find it in my YouTube channel if you are interested. But anyhow, it is saying that because of that, because USD is not going to be that much powerful. It seems that euro is now it's on charge. The currency pair is looking up for a third straight day on Tuesday, but major news lies ahead. The euro USD pair is trading higher on Tuesday and blah blah blah. Okay, let's jump into um, this currency. You know that the euro USD it is part of the forex market. It is for yeah, a lot of traders. It is a well-known market. I don't think that it is required to me to just describe what it is, but simply it is the margin or between the value of euro and USD, and you can see this is the margin at the moment. It is live. Um, so we want to just see what is happening on this chart. Let's just zoom out on weekly as always. Let's get sure that this chart, yeah, no drawing, okay. Let's take a look at this trend. I'm seeing that we have started a trend, downtrend, a bearish momentum here up to this point, and after that, we it seems that we had some sort of correction to the 15 level and just a little bit of reversal. It is too short. We don't know. It is going to be because we need to see an ABC or something like that. Maybe it's an ABC. Maybe it's a reversal. Maybe the C jump just goes up to the 61.8. Anyhow, in either case, we know that this is the one of uh, the resistance zones. If it's someday just break it up, you know that this is the golden ratio. Again, it is sitting on an important zone. I can go to this part as well. It is not really going to help. Let's get rid of this. This is not going to help me anymore. Let's add some arrows that, okay, we had some kind of reactions or some kind of reactions here. Okay, another one here. I don't know. I think that's enough for this one. We had some kind of reactions here, and now it broke. Now the polarity principle just kicked in, and it said that, okay, I used to be a support, it was a breakout, but now I'm as valid as I used to be, but now changing behavior as a resistance. And now you can see that price just reversed. On the 50, we can say here a strong resistance on 15 percentage feeble level. That's enough. So let's, I guess it is good. We can check if, uh, what is the point of that? I can just zoom a lot on weekly. You can see, it's a very long time from 2000, maybe two from 2002, price never reached the point like this. So this is also, we don't want to zoom out that much, but because I couldn't find anything close to this, I just wanted to see if it is the lowest historical point, but not in the whole history, but a very low point in the history, of course. So it is also nice to indicate that, because when we zoom into the lower time frame, we might lose these. We cannot easily analyze this. Okay, this is going to be broken because it is a very a strong support zone. Okay, the historical support zone or something like that. So here I think it is enough to have this information, finding some support zone, understanding what is happening. Just we had the retracement correction here. That's enough. Let's jump into the daily. Let's reset this chart. Okay, uh, we had these, and it seems to be some sort of correction. we can start going to count the waves. Let me see what I can find. Um, okay, this is this is going to be some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something like that. Um, anyhow, I don't know if it is because it is already 15 percentage. It might be it might be two scenarios. I really don't know. I cannot um, confirm either of them by counting waves. I would say okay, sorry, this is not the correct tool. I can say that it is some sort of an ABC as the correction to the 61.8 level. That might be one scenario. Or maybe this whole thing here that I'm now saying it is A, maybe this is the whole A. I cannot see an ABC pattern here. Maybe you can argue that it might be the ABC, but I'm seeing this A just changes behavior. We had some sort of these, and now we have another channel. This is not happening. These kind of big changes in the trend behavior usually not happening in one way. So I cannot really argue that or confirm that, so to say. But let's keep it open. I would like to understand what is going on here. Let's try to simplify it, but via a simple trade line. I would try to draw a simple trade line here. Okay, uh, not a bad one. Let's zoom in a little bit to have a better sense. Let's try another one here. Uh, okay, I can see at least a rising wedge similar to Nvidia, not really related, but we are seeing the same pattern today on our charts. So this is a rising wedge. When I'm seeing something like this, I would also like to bring up my MACD. Yes, again, I'm seeing this higher low in comparison to previous one. Sorry, higher high in comparison to previous one. Higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. But it is just completely a divergence. This is a lower high, lower high, lower high, and lower high. So we are seeing a very long, strong divergence here. I can clarify it by drawing some sort of not accurate trend line on MACD, but just writing a text, it's enough. Very strong uh, divergence. So regardless of if it is my whole ABC or it is just only the A, now it's going to be a B and C to the top, we are actually seeing some sort of uh, um, reversal. We have reached a very strong resistance zone. Again, rising wedge. We are seeing MACD. You know that I don't like the trend line. I actually clarified this to rising wedge, but now I want to remove them because this is not a valid trend line again, in my perspective. Or because there was a gap. Let's just redo it. You can see a huge gap here in comparison to this one. That's why I don't like it because I'm missing some lower points in between. So I would like to draw a line if I can, something like this. Now it is much better because I have a better understanding. You can see the gaps are equal. I'm not missing a higher low. I guess I told it wrongly previous time. These are higher lows. Apologize if I had that mistake. Um, Here I can see lower lows, and let me just do it something like that. Then you can see the gaps are almost equal, and I'm not using a major, uh, actually higher lows in between, like the ones that I am actually uh, clarifying here. Anyhow, I can see, regardless again of what sort of a wave it was, we can see a breakout after reaching that very strong resistance zone. 15 percentage, and also with very strong divergence, also having a rising wedge pattern, all of them confirming a reversal. We are seeing a breakout. In the previous one on Nvidia, we didn't have that breakout. Actually, for confirming what I not Nvidia here, it's a breakout. On that one, you can we used to we actually if I'm a wise guy, I really need to wait until I see that these kind of breakout, and then assert that okay, Nvidia is just dropping. That was very soon to judge that, but I'm just reading the news, jump into the charts. I don't have any policy to create these contents for you. I'm just trying to utilize these tools to understand what is the situation of the um, uh, stocks or currency pairs that are in the top news. So, um, but anyhow, on Euro USD, let's get rid of this MACD as well. On Euro USD, I'm seeing this breakout. Very nice thing, very nice thing is that we have a retest. This is so important. Let me just call it a retest with the callout tool. This is a retest to the brokenness or to the broken point. If I just draw some sort of a resistance zone here that it isn't retested. Retest to the broken point. Sometimes this retest can be to the broken structure. If I continue these, might be just to this one. Both of them doesn't matter. It is showing me that okay, it has been retested and just came back. And I mean, it has started to continue, just continuing the trend, which is the bearish trend here. So the momentum has not been changed, and it is not a fake out. It actually started a downtrend. It created a breakout. It retested it, and the momentum continues. This is the retest and really important. So on Euro USD, even if in the news it says that okay, it had some sort of good days, because we are seeing the days. Let's get rid of this. I really don't want to mess my chart. Here we can see some improvement, some actually very. If I need to jump into an hourly chart, let's zoom out. We are seeing that big, not a very nice view on this one, but anyhow, you can see this breakout on a daily. It was our daily, but this is the hourly structure. This is those improvements that we saw in the news. But I can see, I can draw a trend line, something like this on the hourly structure, and I can say, so we have almost four valid points to that. We had an improve, but it was just a correction. And it is confirming that by a breakout here. So we had a breakout on this Euro USD, and probably we can see some reversal when it reaches exactly the support zone. Probably we are going to have some sort of a retest depending to how strong it is, because I'm seeing a very long candle when it actually broke. But um, the conclusion, if I want to come to the conclusion, because I'm now sitting on the hourly chart at the end of the chart. So the conclusion for the short is that, okay, we are going to some sort of a retest or a range market here or something like that, but the downtrend will continue in a short time. If I go to the 4 hour, I'm almost seeing the same thing. In a daily, okay, I see that we had some sort of a wedge. I can utilize that. Let's just bring my wedge again, because those patterns are really nice to give me some sort of target. I really don't want to give targets, especially on currency pairs, because usually traders really like to. Um, Most of the traders just trade on forex when they looking at the contents on YouTube. At least this is my understanding. So I don't want to give signals, but it is saying that if I want to tell that this rising wedge, this is the target. The length of the wedge is going to be a target, the same amount as at the time the wedge just get broken. So the wedge is saying that it is going to, the target is going to be some part on this support zone, something like that. You can utilize the Fibonacci extension tool to see that, but you can see several confirmation, several reasons that it's saying that Euro USD, yes, according to the news, it had some sort of it's because of the dollar index, it empowered euro, so it euro USD chart, and we had some sort of improvement. But now I'm seeing that this improvement, I mean the uptrend, but this momentum just broken, and we are going to see a downside in on the short term and medium term. I really like this approach to when we discuss about some conclusions in the end, we also give a short, medium, or long. This is something that I personally prefer. So the short term is some sort of a retestment coming down. The medium term, it's continuing to some level here to our target. But the long term, it's something that again I need to come back to this our previous talk, that is it a whole ABC to the 15 percentage? And just you saw that when I wanted to talk about long term, I immediately jump into the weekly because it's so important to um, have a big correct view when you want to talk about a specific period. So about the long, if it is really an ABC, which I don't think so, it is going to be a long term as well, continuing, just having it the third wave. This was our first wave correction. Now the third wave, ooh, dropping down and down, probably. But what I'm seeing that it was just on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I guess we are going to see an one ABC and maybe continuing back to this 68 Fibonacci level on top, because this call out is for this level, and not not for that one. This one is what I'm talking about, that we might have this to the 61.8 people level, which is the golden ratio. So we might see in the long term a return to that point to create the form of the whole ABC, and then maybe reverse back downside. Um, so I would like really to open that. This is not something that I can utilize, but I want to, for the last point of this stream, I want to show you another candle. Let's get rid of it. It is really a mess. Let's get rid of these tools. These were for the hourly charts, so it doesn't make sense here anymore. Let's get rid of this wedge, this bad trend line. Okay, now I can breathe again. Here I can see, let's get rid of this level as well. Here I can see that we had several reasons for the reversal. Okay, it was a very strong resistance zone. It was a MACD. It was a rising wedge. Blah blah blah. But I would like to just pay attention, or um, ask you to pay attention to this candle here. This is hammer. This is hammer candle. This is showing this hammer. It's actually, it has a very short body on the bottom and a very long tail or wick or shadow or anything you call it on the top. So it is the handle of the hammer, and this is the head of the hammer. And this is a well-known reversal candle, that it is indicating that okay, they buyers try to buy, but immediately in the same time frame, we are weekly, so in the same week, no, 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 the seller just jumped in and say, no, 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 you are not going to be successful. We are going to sell, so uh, this is not going to raise anymore. So this is the actually the emotional, the psychological story behind this handle. Sorry, behind this candle, the hammer candle. But it's really also very important as one of our confirmation or reasons about that this going to be reversed, which we already saw. We really don't need to confirm it because we have the future here, at least for 1 month, that yes, that was correct. That hammer just told that it is going to be a reversal, and it is done. Anyhow, it is really important that when that hammer, I can see that hammer structure here. Yeah, you can see a lot of contents, a lot of word that okay, when you see a camera, this is reverse swap. But always in technical analysis, it is important that you combine things and from several point of views. Okay, one, it is the end of the wave. Okay, utilizing the Fibo extensions, the target of the chart patterns, the candle patterns, all together with a, for example, an indicator like MACD, blah blah blah. All of them just confirming one thing. It is going to be a reversal. But here there is no support zone. These hammers are mostly important when they are happening on a very important resistance zone. Sorry. So this is not on a resistance zone. And this is not what I can say that, okay, it is going to happen. I can see the vice versa handle here. Maybe we can go into the daily or hourly. We can find some reasons that okay, we saw that this is the hammer, but um, in another direction. So it is indicating that okay, there is no downtrend anymore, and it continued to the previous trend, the uptrend, and it reached the upper point. But it is important just looking at okay, it is a support, it is a breakout on a trend line, or oh, I have seen a hammer like this, so it is going to be, so let's sell, and you will sell it, and you see your stop will reach. It is about not just one thing. And usually in this point, uh, especially beginners will say that okay, technical analysis doesn't work as it says, but it is not true. It is working if you can utilize them in a correct way. Just everything together, all your tools should saying one thing. When all of them saying that yes, it is a reversal, then you will see a reversal like that. But if just this candle just pops up, I'm a hammer, this uptrend is done, then you should not trust it. You need to investigate, you need to check things if it is really the end of the trend, or if it is the time to reverse or not. Then you can trust it. I would trust this one because it is sitting on a very important weekly resistance zone, but maybe not the previous one lost it. Yeah, here you can also find some zone, but no rising wedge, no end of trend, no Fibonacci level, or if it is a Fibonacci level here, it is a very low Fibonacci level, maybe 38 percentage. So not that much. You should not just saying that, but here it makes a more sense. So um, one for with all this description, with all the longest story short, that just what I want you to take away, that you need to confirm what you're saying with several point of views by utilizing your tools and knowledge in technical analysis to get sure one thing is working. Okay, we are done. We have talked about Nvidia and the conclusion with the short term, medium term, and long term. Also with Euro USD, short, medium, and long term. Please do not take these, what you're saying in these, um, as your trading purpose for trading purposes. These are all just educational contents. And if you have any question regarding any of the contents that I shared here, feel free. There is Discord channel server. You can join. You can ask any question. I will reply as soon as I get the chance. Also, you can put comment there on YouTube. You can also chat in Twitch if you want. I will respond. I'll try usually to be responsive and answer them. But yeah, if you have any specific question about the knowledge, I would be grateful if you share them in the Discord, and I can actually create a better content to reply to that. Anyhow, this is what I prepared for today to talk about. Uh, I will come back tomorrow to talk about other news or probably two or three other charts to analyze. Thank you very much. We are done for today.